Hey guys, it's Richie here. Um, so I wanted to go over my my morning, I guess, or trading day today, uh, and I had some great examples. First we're gonna go over my first trades were ALVR, and so let's go over on how I decided to pick ALVR. Okay, why did I choose this? So every morning I go to my computer and I open up, my platform, and down here you see my notes. These are the requirements for me to, play stock, right? If I don't have a stock that doesn't meet these requirements, I won't be playing it. Um, so ARVR had met all the requirements. Another one was WINT. So let's go over with WINT. Okay. I did not trade this. Now it did have a nice pre-market, action. It looked like it had some sort of a pattern right here. Um, so I was watching this as well. Okay, so I was watching this. Also, I was also looking at the daily chart right here, and I was just kind of observing like what it did in the past. Look over here. I mean, the last time it gapped up, it had like a tiny spike and then just kind of went right back down. Okay. Before that, gapped up, had a decent move, and closed pretty weak. So it has a history of closing weak. Before that, there is very little history. Um, but yeah, so that was just a quick observation. Okay. And then next was ALVR. I look back and I'm like, okay, what? Anything else that happened? Like any history? There seems to be no history, right? I mean, this has what, like over here. I mean, it's kind of not that important. Not important. So it's not like on WINT where the last time it gapped and closed very weak, and then same here, right? So I wasn't really a fan of WINT, so just kind of let down the side, but I was still watching it. ARVR was the one that was okay. This ARVR doesn't have any huge history. It's already trading massive volume at open, and yeah, it was looking pretty good. And it's a pretty young stock. I mean, the history doesn't go back further than this, so it's a relatively new IPO, about a year old, which is still very new. And with these new IPOs, they tend to be more volatile. As you guys can see here, all these really big moves. And yeah, you wouldn't be playing these new young setups. That's where you find these explosive moves. The older the setup, going back to WINT, the less explosive. And plus, judging by WINT's history, gapped up and it closed weak, I didn't like that. So that was a no-no. I just felt like ALVR was the better play. Just going back its daily chart, right? So yeah, so let's go to ALVR. So right here, let me zoom in. You see these green wicks or green arrows, and then you'll see red arrows. Kind of hard to see. Let me actually make that bigger for you guys. Okay, maybe that'll help. So my first entry was around 705, just over $7. I was looking for a breakout over 720. Let me make these lines real quick. The support lines. Generally, I don't do much of this, but because I kind of do it mentally. But for those new traders out there, I think it definitely helps um, having these labels. So, all right, and you can, as you guys can see, I mean, I'm just trying to connect. Like I'm making these lines. I'm just trying to connect where is the best place. For this one, it goes up 680, comes back down, comes back up. Well, it got rejected so twice, and then got rejected 3 times. So I mean, this is pretty. I would say it's a pretty key level right here. So 680, 620 right here. I mean, sorry, $7, and then 720, and then 750. And I guess down here you could add 650, but I mean, if it went down to 650, I think it will look a bit too weak. So I would say if this thing were really strong, I would say the minimum is it has to hold 680s. So so I noticed this nice a decent move right here. It had opened at around 690s. I generally, well, not generally, but I would always wait for the first few minutes after open. There's just I used to buy right at open, and it's just just so much drama going on. Yeah, you can make quick bucks, like buy, just kind of risk off the previous low and just sell like really quickly up here. But it's just way too quick. If something were bad to happen technology wise, power goes out, you're out of luck. Because there's just way too many things going on. So I like to wait for the first few minutes. I want to see what it does. I want to see what it reacts to these support and resistances. In this case, the resistance right here, right at open, was at 708, and I want to see if it actually like contested and held 708. In this case, it didn't. So just I just always like to wait for the first few minutes. Okay. I had bought right here, looking for 720, broke down, got faked out, broke even, and just kind of waited. Okay, it's looking weak. Let's see how far it goes. Let's see how 680s, 670s reacts, which is the next support. As it goes down, I noticed that it was quickly getting bought up, and as the timer on the 1 minute for the new 1 minute candle to close, which it was on this one, about 10 seconds later, I was like, okay, it looks like it's about to close strong on the 1 minute. So that's when I started buying. And my risk was 690s with a $7 entry. Yeah, it actually went straight, broke over 720, and within the next minute it just went straight over 750s, where I sold some up there, and I was like, okay, over 750s, I'm looking for $8. Over here it halted, so I always want to take some off into the halt, because you never know if there's a T12 or something really bad happens. Sometimes there are halts that look very nasty. It halts and then halts like all the way down here, like $7. And sometimes they'll halt all day and you're stuck. And T12, and it unhalts way down here. So just throw a little bit, risk out the window and just kind of secure profits as it goes up. As she unhalts, lots of volatility. Okay, $8. Had an order sitting at 8, and I was holding it just a bit and seeing how it reacts on the first dip. It holds, and I was looking for 8 and over again. In this case, it kind of it got rejected pretty hard, so I ended up selling the last piece right here. And I wanted to see where the real like I wanted to see where the real bottom was. um, right here, it I wanted to see where the first really big move was, to kind of prove where the real bottom was. So it had this nice rip right back up. So I knew right here. I mean, this 740s was a good uh, bottom, first bottom, and also right here, let's say 750 was the previous resistance, and also right here. So I kind of like, okay, um, if she dips, I'm going to be buying and kind of see how she reacts to this 760 750s area. Right here, I had like a test entry right here. Quickly got right back out because I mean it looked like the level 2. I don't think it would have broke, so I sold break even right here. Bought again right here. Another tester or feeler entry. Stopped out real quickly. And I said, okay, if this thing goes under, I want to see how right here 676 760s, how would she react? It dipped and it opened. I mean, right into this in the bar of the previous red candle. Okay, and it comes right back up. I see 770, 780 on the level 2. I'm like, man, this thing is getting bought up real quickly. So as soon as I saw that strength, I'm like, okay, over 780s I'm in, and over 780s it went, and just quickly shot up over a high day. Sold some up here, and kind of saying, okay, can she go higher? I think she can go probably potentially $9. So it had this nice 1 minute flag, and it's okay. Especially one thing that I could tell you guys is the shorter the time frame, the tighter the risk you should have. Because anything in a 1 minute, things will happen very quickly, and if you're not, spot on, disciplined about it, you're gonna go in for a huge, very quick ride, either to the upside or the downside. So you gotta be really quick and have tight risk and reward on these lower time frames. You notice I'm having these feeler trades. I'm just trying to get an entry, just kind of see how it goes. Because when you're in a stock, like when you actually have a position in stock, for me, when I say feeler trade is I will enter a stock, just for a small size, right? Really small size, just kind of get a feel, because that's when you're really feeling it, right? If you're not in a position, you're just kind of watching it, and you don't really feel it until you're actually in it. You're playing or riding the actual stock. So that's what I call feeler trades, and that's when I, personally for me, I get an actual real feel of how the stock is going to go. So, and these feeler trades, yes, it might cost me, really lightly, but it pays to have these feeler trades. So that's what I like to do. So yeah, had I tried to get in this right here. I tried to get in right here because it looked like it was holding very well. Kind of similar to what happened right here. It was doing the same thing right here. And I was playing with smaller size because it was higher. At this time, I was playing like around, like, I think 10,000 shares at a time. And over here I was only trading with like 5,000, so half the size, because it's more extended. So I like to kind of reduce my exposure the higher the stock is, just in case. Um, so yeah, ended up stopping out because it did not break over. It should have broken right here, did not. So I had one more feeler. I had one more feeler right here just in case, and you know, right away I did not have that gut feeling that this was going to go because it just couldn't get back over 830. So I ended up stopping out, and that was it. This thing faded throughout the entire day, which was kind of sad. But the main thing is you want to be in these first young breakouts, the first, second, third breakouts. You don't want to be playing these old, non-volatile stocks. And let's go back to WINT. This one had a nice 1 minute candle close. Tried to break over 140s. It did not. Well, it did, but it closed pretty weak. And it proceeded to go lower and break down. So I was not watching this. I was like, okay. As soon as she broke 130s, I was like, okay, this thing potentially could do the same thing last time where it gapped up and just closed weak at the bottom. And that's exactly what it did here. ALVR did the same thing too, where it gapped up and closed weak. Let me just take this off. And it gapped it and closed weak, but just tell me, like, when was the last time I did that with major volume? I mean, look, the major volume here. What happened? I mean, just kind of. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a day where it did that on major volume. So today's the first day where it did major volume, and that's when and now that it did that, next time ALVR has gapped up again, I know, and I can use this as a reference. Okay, the last time, let's say a year from now, ALVR does something again, it gaps up maybe at 11 or I don't know, whatever price. I'm okay. The last time it moved, I can go back to here. Okay, on April, it had gapped up, spiked, and closed weak. And I could say, okay, go back to the present and say, hey, it's gonna be weak, kind of like what I did with WINT. So that's why I played ALVR today, because it didn't have any of that. WINT, the last time it had a major move, it wasn't really high volume, but I mean it sticks out. It sticks out next to these two. So that's why I did not play WINT. So and yeah, that was my trades right there. Get in, get in and play these young setups and look for these these first breakouts, because that's when you're going to get the explosive moves, and you want to be quick about them. I guess second is, this is what helped me, kind of, when I have all the requirements checked, that just increases the odds of me winning, or not winning, but of the stock actually going my way. So yeah, WINT, that unfortunately did not make it. It doesn't mean that it meets everything it has to go. It's just a good indication where, okay, what stocks have the best price, the catalyst, the volume, and those are the stocks that you should be looking for, because they have the highest chance of going with volume. ALVR was another the one. Did I explain CRXT? CRXT. This one went from. This one did not meet my requirements, but I was still watching on the daily. So it closed pretty strong this day. It on this day it even went over $2 after hours. So I was like, okay, wow, that's crazy. I mean, and then I was like, okay, I looked on daily, over two. I mean, this thing go to $4 or $5. And it had that room. So yeah, it was gapping also over or near or at resistance at $2. Over two, this thing, had potential to go $3, $4. And I did play this. Right here. And also one thing was, had a nice move up, close, kind of faded, and grinded right back up. Moved back up real quickly and faded back down. And this is, when you see this and you see this, right? Like forget that you saw this, red, right? Right when you see this, you will always want to go back to the previous day and hold on. You kind of want to go back and kind of say, okay, what did it do the previous day? All right. Oh, wait, it looks exactly the same. Okay, then you should be expecting the same thing. Sometimes these stocks will do the same thing. And stocks do, move with history. History repeats itself. So, yeah, and I noticed I was watching it. I noticed I was holding 180s, and I played it over here. I entered it around 190s, 180s. I kind of scalped this thing. So I scalped on I bought the dips, scalped on the breakouts, bought the breakouts. It was crazy. So yeah, hold on. Oh my goodness. All right. So that'll be it, guys. Hope you guys learned something. And yeah, see you guys on the next video.